With the number of bike accidents in the city, London's Cycling Advisory Committee will be lowering speed limits in residential areas down to 40 kilometers per hour. John Kostinchik works in traffic and transportation at City Hall and wants people to know that this is a lengthy process.
Right now, the best we can do is we can try to keep ourselves safe. We can try to look to better enforcement mechanisms, but ultimately I think we're going to have to look at different designs too over the future with this Complete Streets initiative. But the only challenge there is people are wanting changes now, but these sorts of things take time to change.
The big question remains on how City Hall can implement such a change and letting drivers know the locations of where they will need to drive slower.
If you're entering a neighborhood, so picture, say, a newer subdivision, and you've got sort of a box and you've maybe got 4 or 5 entry points and exit points from that subdivision, you would essentially have the signage at the beginning and at the end of that so that you know that when you're entering that area, you have to go 40 kilometers an hour.
However, despite City Hall being proud of the initiative they're putting forward, longtime cyclist and advocate Gary Brown says it's about time that the city stepped up.
Well, it would have been a good start 20 years ago to have this discussion, and I'm glad we're having the discussion, but it's actually an engineering issue. You have to actually design the road for the speed you want people to drive at.
Even though City Hall refuses to budge on going lower than 40 kilometers per hour, Gary says it really should be down to 30 instead.
And one thing lowering the speed limit will do, it does increase the chances of surviving an accident. So a speed limit of 30 kilometers, you have about an 80% higher survivability rate or serious injury rate than a car traveling at 50 kilometers.
Gary adds that switching from 50 kilometers down to 30 kilometers doesn't hurt anyone.
Nobody's life is worth that 1 or 2 seconds of time you're saving.
With the new initiative beginning in the new year, it will be an interesting ride for drivers and for cyclists. For FNN, I'm Megan Delorier.